Good morning, guys. It is currently 9:42 a.m. I was gonna say p.m. My bed is cracking. It's not cracking, it's Velcro, but that was funny because I'm like, and I'm going through the floor. No. Anyway, on Thursday, I think it's the 43rd day I'm doing this. I can't remember at the moment. But I did not set my alarm / timer because I truly didn't need to today. I did. I'm really proud of myself because it was by 11, but still, considering that part of me just wants to like stay up all night because I finally have a little bit of freedom, I'm proud of myself because I did turn on a meditation and take out the earbuds by 11. I'm not going to say I woke up completely peacefully, but I did remind myself that that could just be the cortisol, and I definitely felt it was like 8 something when I looked at the clock. I don't know when I woke up, but I was just trying to do like breathing, and it's so hard when you live such different like days, I know I need a routine, I just don't know how to do that. Like, I don't want to have a routine that's so rigid that every time it gets disrupted, it feels like I'm just like the rug's pulled out from under me. But I also do not like the feeling, because I can't as a single mom, of like kind of like, I mean, I guess technically I could, but I don't want to, of like, I don't know, all the time, So, that being said, when I woke up and I was like, can't even think, haven't drank any water, obviously. I think I wrote in my notebook a bit. That's what I did last night. I turned on the lamp. I'm proud of myself. I turned off stuff and I turned on my lamp, and then I wrote a little bit. I think I was writing more just, it wasn't journaling like typical journaling, but it was at least writing something down. And then I turned off the lamp and went to sleep. So the good news is that today so far, I ended up working on my kitchen for, I think it would be an hour or so. And I decided to turn on something, not just music, because I do like to optimize, and I just thought, well, I could turn on something that's good for my brain, and then I can work on the kitchen. It's kind of a win-win. It's kind of a fail-proof if you think about it, because it's not that I had to work on my kitchen, right? Like, it's not like it was like a law, or that I had to listen to something that's good for my brain. But it was kind of cool because I just realized it's like no matter what, I'm going to win because I'm doing 2 things that are good. So even if only one of them like worked, does that make sense? Like, let's say I was in my kitchen, I'm like, I just don't know what to do. But as long as I keep that thing on, I'm still doing something productive and something good for my brain. But I did get some progress done in the kitchen. And I think what I'm going to do, because I'm really trying to pay attention to what works for me, right? And like my current situation. And, this idea of like taking a day off and not doing anything is not appealing to me. I'm realizing like that's not actually what I want. I'm exhausted because I'm burnt out, but I'm not actually exhausted, like meaning I want to sleep for 15 hours a day, I'm feeling depression sometimes because I'm burnt out, but I'm not actually wanting to, obviously not, because this week technically I could have spent the week in bed. I literally don't want to do that, So it's just good awareness, as always. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to, try this out of like, instead of saying clean up the kitchen or like that type of thing, I'm going to say, work on the kitchen. Like, work on the kitchen for an hour, and then you can do X. And that way, it's not dependent on a specific result. And so it takes off that like pressure. And during that hour that I work on the kitchen, I can be listening to something that's good for my brain. So again, it's like a win no matter what, which actually I'm really enjoying, like this idea. And then I can reward myself afterwards, like my brain, you know? So I was watching this channel about ADHD last night, and I'm just thinking, those symptoms, like, I relate a lot to those symptoms. And it doesn't matter the label, it matters how it affects you and how you feel. Like, there are people who are like, you didn't have to clean your kitchen. And it's like, yeah, I know, right? But I want to be organized, right? So it's actually exciting because if I think of it that way, and like I said, I'm really trying to put in systems because I do like to feel like stuff's getting done, stuff's getting under control, even if it's not yet, type of thing. Even if people think it is, if I don't think it is, then it's not, you know? Like, if I'm not comfortable with it, then it's not. And I thought about, like, an example would be, let's say you owe back taxes, you know, and you owe like 5 years of back taxes. You're not going to get that done in an hour, right? No matter how much you stress, if you're by yourself especially, you know, you're not going to get that done in an hour. So you have to realistically frame it so that you don't lock your brain up from getting anything done. Because that's what happens when the brain is overwhelmed and has too much going on. It just shuts down. It goes into like survival mode, right, for itself. Doesn't really care about us. It's like, I'm done. And I always think of that Simpsons, and I haven't even seen it, you know, in like 30 years, but that Simpsons where Homer gets home from the bar and Marge is like, where were you? And his brain is talking to him, like you can hear the audible voice, and it's like, don't say the bar, don't say the bar, don't say the bar. And Homer's like, the bar. And then the brain is like, that's it, I'm out of here. And you hear the brain walking down the corridor, you know, and then you hear like a metal door slam, you know, it's just so visceral. And I'm like, exactly, that's what my brain does. But it's not because there's anything wrong with my damn brain. It's because my brain's overloaded, which makes sense with all this stuff, you know? So it's just, it's so ultimately exciting to be like, yeah, that's what a brain does when it's just getting dumped. Because when I tell people stuff, they're just like, how are you handling all that? It's like, I don't know. So that being said, though, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to say, spend an hour on cleaning every, you know, and then I don't even know, but, you know, and then spend an hour on, like I said, like paperwork. I don't owe back taxes. That was just an example, but it's like, if I think of it that way, that really does, it releases the pressure, you know? And it's not about, it truly isn't about like feeling good. It's about your brain's not going to cooperate if you don't, you know, it will only, you can only push the brain so much before it will like clap back. And it claps back hard. It's just like, I'm done. Too bad. Same thing with the body. Like, you push the body, you know, hard enough, long enough, without any restoration, it will fight back, and it's much stronger, you know? So it's just good awareness of like, and I like, actually, you know, the reason I'm, you know, I don't want to say constantly, but the reason I'm frequently changing my routines and stuff like that, because I will not settle for one that's not good for me, right? So once I find one that I'm like, oh, this is working, or components, then I'm like, I'm going to stick with it, you know? So, and I noticed that by working on the kitchen, it helped me. I actually do have on the fridge specific 10-minute tasks So if I need a reference, then I can do that. But like, it's more about, okay, what's here? Okay, what do I want to do? And, some of the things I ended up doing are more just aesthetic, but they make a difference. I like it a lot and it motivates me a lot. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So one of the things I did is I have all this sauce, like sauce packets and ketchup and stuff. So I had this little container to put the sauces in, and it was a cute little, like, almost like a mail file thing, but very narrow. The problem is not all the sauces fit in there. So now what do you do, type of thing. So then the sauces were overflowing, and it wasn't working. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to put them in a big Ziploc bag. Well, they didn't all fit in there. And then I have this glass bowl. But my daughter, see, you got to factor in other people. She likes to grab that glass bowl when she makes dips and stuff. And I don't want to discourage that. I don't want to be like, nope, can't do that. But it also doesn't make sense to pick up 50 pieces, like 50 individual sauce packets every time she wants to use the bowl. So long story short, what I ended up doing is I put all the ketchup packets, in a Ziploc bag in the glass bowl. So when she wants to use a glass bowl, all you gotta do is take out the Ziploc bag. But all that's in there is ketchup. People probably don't even care, but it makes me happy. And then I had a container, like a tall container. And even though it's supposed to be airtight, it's not, so I thought, okay, so you can't really use it for things you don't want bugs get into because they do anyway. So I'm like, all right. So I put the sauces, the rest of the sauce packets that are like the chunky ones, because I could go to Chick-fil-A, so like those in there. And then the thin ones, like soy sauce, I put in that little narrow container. And then I moved that narrow container from the left side, where it's always kind of getting bumped into, to the right side. It doesn't matter, but my point is that there's probably, I'm sure, if someone saw it, they'd be like, that didn't really make a difference. It's like, to you it didn't, but to me it did, and that's what matters. Like, it's motivating me, encouraging me. Now when I look in that area, it doesn't look as chaotic, and I like that. My brain likes that. And that was kind of the big thing I decided before summer. Like that's what I was writing down, is summer. Like, what do I want to accomplish before summer? And I was like, I need to reduce the amount of visual, the constant, unnecessary visual stimuli, because it just makes everything harder. And why make it harder on myself, right? And like I said, if I had a basement or garage, or another bedroom or help, then that would all be different. But since I don't, it's like the very least I can put it in containers for now. And then the part that's like, well, we don't want to live like that. It's like, okay, so then during summer, right? Or even, the blessing would be if it's like, okay, I got everything done. Now I can start going into the containers. Now I can start cleaning the garage, But that's really exciting, and that's really smart, because I have always known, like since a kid, I've known that if I just had a clean and organized space, I could function so much better, as any human could. But see, I was never allowed, like, that was one of the things, I wasn't allowed to put anything. It was different rules for some reason, for different kids. And that definitely set me up to just be messy, but no, it's just I don't have the space to put it away. So anyway, it's just exciting. It's exciting because on the one hand, you could say those things don't even matter, but if they bring me joy, then they do matter, because I matter. I'm working on that. And people need hope, So, like I said, I just keep optimizing my life to maximize my joy. And I keep doing things that I don't regret and that move me forward. So it's like, that's really exciting. So that being said, I also made my water, and I drank probably at least 50 ounces, and so now, I think I have a meeting at 11, and I don't have to attend it, like I said, but I like learning. And I think I might do a meditation next. I don't know. But anyway, the point is that I made a lot of progress just this first hour. I feel good about it. And you really have to compartmentalize. You really have to say, this whole thing all by myself is not going to get done in one day. So how can I set up systems so that my brain allows me, my nervous system allows me to still take steps forward and actually feel the progress, which is going to allow me to take more steps forward. So I'm just reminding myself every time my brain starts to be like, oh yeah, because a part of my brain wants to be like, have fun while you can have fun. Like, she's not here right now. And another part is like, yeah, but she's coming back in 2 days. You gotta be ready. And then the brain's like, okay, I don't know what to do, so I'm just shutting down. So I'm like, okay, so this is something I can do, And so now, yeah, I think I'm just gonna take 10 minutes to kind of just let what just happened assimilate and like have my brain recognize that was a good thing. So anyway, love you guys.